Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Ania. I'm the managing member of Ania, Scanlon, and Sirignano with offices in White Plains and Somers, New York. Our firm practices in the field of wills, trust, and estates, elder law, Medicaid applications, guardianships, estate administration, probate, and I've been practicing for 36 years. The topic for today's presentation is broaching the topic of estate planning with a loved one. A very sensitive issue for many people. As people age, especially if they've been private about their finances throughout their life, they're less likely to be willing to share the information about their financial affairs with their children, grandchildren, or other loved ones. So it's not unusual to find out that a senior has never told his children what assets he or she has and whether or not they've conducted any estate planning. And that could be problematic. It can be a significant issue. I can't tell you how many times I've had a meeting with children and their parents where, for the first time, the parent is divulging what assets he or she has to the children, and the look on the face of the children is, incredulous. They just can't believe that for all these years their parents have never told them about the extent of the finances, and they're often very surprised by it, and also surprised by the lack of planning that many seniors have conducted. So the question is, what can you do? How do you broach the topic if you're a child or grandchild and you know that your parents are aging, they're having more and more cognitive problems, cognitive difficulties, and you're concerned that they don't have the right plan in place? So what steps can you take? What can you do now to help protect them and protect perhaps your inheritance in the future? Well, the first thing is to talk about the problem with them, discuss with them something that you read. That usually is a great way of broaching the topic by giving them a copy of an article that you've read about estate planning or elder law planning, or relaying to them a situation involving a family friend or relative that you just heard about. So, for example, if a family member has passed away and didn't do any planning, and you've heard about it, or a friend, maybe that's a way of broaching with them the problems that are affiliated and associated with not having a proper plan in place or not having any plan in place. So that's one way of kind of relating to them what's happening in the news, what's happening in the world vis-a-vis estate taxes, Medicaid eligibility. That is really a number one topic for most seniors, especially those that are not multi-millionaires. If you're extremely wealthy, you generally are not concerned about the cost of long-term care. Your assets and income are probably sufficient to cover the expenses associated with either being in a nursing home or needing care at home. However, if you're a middle class or upper middle class individual and you haven't done any long-term care planning, you may be shocked and surprised by the cost of long-term care. It's not unusual for a nursing home to cost anywhere from 180 to 220, $230,000 a year. And if a husband and wife are going to need nursing home services, a significant amount of their life savings could be expended on the cost of the home. With respect to home care, it's also very expensive if you haven't done any planning. Home care can run anywhere from $8,000 a month to $15,000 a month, if not more, depending on the circumstances and the amount of hours of care being provided, et cetera. For example, I recently had clients come to me where their parent was paying private duty nurses $10,000 a week. They were expending $40,000 a month for nurses to take care of their mother, a staggering amount of money. I mean, that's, $480,000 a year. Excuse me, more than 400. As I said, 40. Is it $10,000 a week? Yeah. So it's almost $520,000 a year for that expense. So it's very expensive. So having the discussion with your parents, talking to them about the things that you're reading about, sharing articles with them, talking to them about events that you've heard, family, friends, other relatives, and the problems of not having a plan in place is maybe a way of prompting them to think about their plans and to take some steps to act on doing some planning. The other thing you can do is, specifically say to mom and dad, have you done a will? Have you done a power of attorney? Have you done a healthcare proxy? And, what are your wishes? Who's going to be the agent under your power of attorney? If the parents are willing to share that information with you, they may share it with you. If they're not, you probably are not going to find out the information. Again, it all depends on the level of privacy that the individuals involved want. But however, if that privacy is to the extent that the children really know nothing about their financial affairs and estate, that could be quite problematic when the parents pass away. It's not unusual for the children to be scurrying about trying to ascertain what bank accounts mom and dad had, what IRAs they had, life insurance, etc. It just makes life so much more difficult for the people that survive when they have no clue whatsoever about the assets that mom and dad had or their finances. So I think it's important to have the discussion, and a way of broaching the topic, as I mentioned, is to either directly ask the questions of your loved ones or to broach it by talking about various articles. For example, you could raise our discussion about the estate tax exemption, or you can raise an issue about, for example, the Medicaid home care eligibility rules. So there is, a lot of things that you can mention that are in the news that if you research, do a little research and Googling of elder law, et cetera, you may find the topics of interest. You could go to my website at a.ania at ess, excuse me, esslawfirm.com. You can go to my website and you'll see many articles. We have many articles posted on our website for the law firm. And those articles are going to give you ideas of some of the issues that your parents and grandparents may have to deal with. I hope this was informative, and I hope you stay well and safe and healthy during these crazy times, and that you have happy and healthy holidays as well. Thank you very much.